Just queuing up the iPad so I can see you guys. There we go. Just a second. Okay. Well, I got a lot to say. For those of you that weren't there, and how's the audio right now? Baby T, Bradley, Wolf? I can't do anything about that. That's what I was given. But I got some people to thank, and we'll talk about some other stuff afterward. But first and foremost, I got to thank Baby T for, basically being Baby T and letting me do all this. And he makes the dream work, I'll tell you what. So next, I got to thank Scott Nicholas for his sponsorship for a team that couldn't make it to the tournament last minute. They had some family issues that that took precedence, and I can appreciate that. So what I did with Scott's money was I ended up buying the second big fish product and the crappie rod and reel. So it was Lou's bait casting combo and a crappie rod and reel to give away for those prizes. And nobody caught a crappie. So we're not going to do the crappie thing next time. That was a group decision made months ago to have one crappie and our limit of bass, which we did have a vote at Waxy O'Shea's Irish Bar on Friday night. We were trying to decide 3 or 5 fish limit. Well, we compromised and we went with a 4 fish bass limit. So next time we do, it won't just be crappie. It'll be biggest fish other than a bass. And we'll roll that way. It could be a 100-pound paddlefish. Who knows? I'd like to see that in one of our boats, though. That'd be hilarious. I got to thank my mom, Jane Blackstock, and Larry Herzog for their sponsorship donation, which ultimately went to Todd and Christy Connolly, which in turn, they donated their $50 back into the money, basically, is what happened, for their down payment to the tournament. And we had an anonymous donor that wants to remain anonymous that donated $500, which paid for a lot of stuff you guys didn't see, like the insurance policy that was almost $400. That was an eye-opener. I learned from that, and I think next time we'll do something a little different. We'll probably hold the event at a place that doesn't require a rider for their place. So that was a lesson. Whew, I'm not done yet, you guys. I gotta thank Mark Newman for his generosity coming to the tournament, as well as donating 2 $50 Bass Pro gift cards through Blue Line Management. Thank you very much. Real quick, I gotta thank Jeff McCain. Jeff McCain gave me a crappie rod. It's a Lou's Speed Stick crappie rod. I don't have one. He knew that, so he gave me one. I thank you, Jeff, for that. That was super cool. Now I just need to find a little 1000 series reel to put on it, and we'll go catch some crappie. Or try. Try real hard. What's up, Gizmo? Zach needs a crappie rod. All right, I'm not done yet. Next is Todd and Christy Connolly. No, you know what? I'm going to hold on you guys for a second. Steven Smith Got the party started somewhat right last night. And the party is about to carry on for a while because of something else. But Stephen, thank you very much for the 1.75 liter of Fireball. Look what's left. Remind you, we didn't get into this last night until about 6 o'clock. So there's some ladies last night that really partied hard and took a fat dent out of this bottle. But don't fret. Todd and Christy Connolly hooked it up too. This party box is 3.5 liters of Fireball with not one spout, but two. So we can do a lot of damage with 3.5 liters of Fireballs. I'll tell you what, we did, Philip. Still not done yet. Todd also regaled me with a Fireball cigar. Super cool. I'll be getting into that at some point. Probably not tonight. They also gifted me this 5-pound Bass Club patch that I can sew onto a hat. I'm super excited about that. That was thoughtful. I appreciate that a lot. And we're still not done. The Connollys also gave me a bottle of the Glenlivet, full well knowing that I enjoy the Glenlivet, and the decanter from our wedding that's never been used. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to make myself a cocktail here in a second. But we're going to go with Glenlivet tonight, and we'll put a dent in what's left of that Fireball. Settle down, Bradley. You got to thank people before you start bragging about who won. And Misty Miller, with her hard work working with Walmart, I can't thank you enough. No amount of gratitude I give you is going to make up for what you did for the tournament. And it's greatly appreciated. So I also got a cool little lure from Steve Miller, another thoughtful thing. Everybody knows that I'm a big supporter of the Yingling. So Steve made me this wake bait. The Shonka Lures Yingling, 1 of 1 in the world. Super cool. It goes nicely with my Fireball Spook. I know a lot of you guys talked to Steve, and I didn't really pay attention, but if you bought lures from Steve, awesome. He's always around. Shonka Lures on Facebook. Check him out. What's up, guys? All right. Before I talk about the winners of everything, I'm going to pour this bottle of Glenlivet in that glass. Sorry, I have to. Child. Oh. Uh-oh. It's got a fancy keeper thingamajob. Bear with me. I'll be there as soon as I can. Oh, man. Hold on. Okay. Oh, you hear that little pop? First of all, I'm going to pour it in the decanter. Over here for a second. I have a funnel just so I don't get it all over the boat. Can you guys hear that? That's the sound of scotch pouring into a bottle. I don't know if it'll take the whole fifth. Yeah, it will. No, it won't. Almost. So I'm going to have to... It almost took the whole fifth. So we're going to pour that in the glass. And we're going to pour from the decanter some in here. Oh my God, that's a lot of scotch. So, like I said, this is a virgin decanter no longer. Thank you, Todd and Christy, big time. Let's have a cocktail. All right, so the winners of the tournament, we're gonna start with second big fish, which was Bradley. He won the Lew's bait casting combo with 3-pound, 1-ounce bass. Next big fish at 3 pounds, 8 ounces was Jeff McCain, who won the Carbon Light 2.0 spinning rod combo, 7-foot medium heavy. Nice combinations, fellas. Way to go, by the way. Hey, you know, and for those of you that weren't there, conditions were not perfect. It was pretty wet about 70% of the day. It poured. It was, it lacked lightning, which was perfect. We didn't have to shut anything down. Everybody went out safely, came home safely, and that was the, you know, at the end game, just be safe. And that's what happened. So let's go to 5th place now. Stephen and Andrew came all the way from Texas. They won $150 for 5th place. 4th place was Mark and Ben, and they won $300. 3rd place at 8 pounds, Mark and Ben's weight was 7 pounds, 2 ounces. Stephen and Andrews was 5 pounds, 4 ounces. 3rd place was Jeff and Roper. They were at 8 pounds, 4 ounces. And 2nd place was myself and my father-in-law, Frank, at 8 pounds, 9 ounces. And I forgot to say, yeah, so 4th place, 300, 3rd place, 400, 2nd place, 600. And in 1st place was Stephen Bradley, who earned $1,000 in cash. Congratulations to everybody that won and everybody that came and fished as well. We did give the 2 donated gift cards away in a raffle. And we gave away about a dozen hats. I don't know, about 8 Shonkalure Spooks in the tracker flavor and the heritage flavor and the classic flavor, the orange and then the silver and black. It was a great day. It went super fast. It sort of felt like a wedding. You know, you plan for months and months and months, and then when it happens, it goes like that. It was, we started just before 7 o'clock. We got out there early, and we finished at 4. Everybody was on time. Like I said, no issues. And it couldn't have gone any smoother on the fishing end besides the weather. But, you know, you get what you get. Yes. What else do I got to talk about? There were, yeah, you know, if you notice, 1st through 3rd place were separated by ounces, which a lot of tournaments are. But one thing I wanted to do was pay out. We paid out 1 in 3, which is pretty incredible. Most tournaments, if you had 15 boats, you might see 2 checks, maybe 3 at the very most. It wasn't really about having giant checks for everybody. It was more about having fun. And I figured 1 in 3, a lot of people would have opportunities. So I hope nobody went away upset. It was tough fishing. That was a fact. Yeah. You know, everybody that came was a hero in my book, because ultimately we gave a check to the veterans. There's more coming to the veterans once we solidify the sponsorship relationship with Bass Pro Shops, which is I'll be working on that this week. So a lot of people afterward asked, when's the next event? And I don't have an answer just yet. But when all of this started, somebody that's not related to any of this asked me, like, what's your goal? What's your goal of doing this? And ultimately, selfishly, my goal was for somebody at the end of it to say, when's the next one? Which kind of would solidify the fact that maybe I did something right. I did it right enough where people want to come back and do it. It was my first time doing this. Absolute first time running an event of any kind. This is not like coaching high school kids in hockey. You're used to chasing girls out of their hotel rooms in the middle of the night, and that's about it. But I couldn't have done it, like I said, without Tabitha, Misty, my Aunt Wendy. Thank you hugely for you coming down here and surprising me. You helped out a great deal. I appreciate that a ton. If you don't have family, what do you got? The next one. So Misty and I were talking about that. I think we're going to work on that together. We're going to try to come up with a lake that's a little different. And I don't know what the format will be. I don't know what people are comfortable with. There's lakes we can go to where we can basically camp. I don't know if people are into that or they'd rather be in a hotel situation. Those are things that are going to be talked about, and ultimately when it comes time to make a decision, I think that we'll pick a few different places and maybe vote on it. And majority rules, I guess. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know. I'm serious. We had so much fun, and I hope everybody had fun. I hope that I got a chance to talk to most, if not all of you at some point. If I didn't, I'm sorry. For me, I was nervous and I was a little hectic, but at the end of the day, I feel like everything prevailed and everybody had a good time. So enough of that. Yeah, I think that would be the best way to go, is to pick 3 locations and then we have a majority vote. And it is what it is again. Some people are going to come and some aren't. And there's no animosity to people that didn't or couldn't come. Life happens. Life gets in the way of a lot of fun, and you can't hate on that. Thank you, Todd. Thank you guys very much. By the way, the scotch is delicious. Yeah, and Jim, you hit on something real big. We've been doing this for a year and a half, getting on here, and you guys all look at me and I read everything and I try the best I can to, moderate. But one of the biggest takeaways for me from the weekend was seeing all of your faces, shaking hands, and solidifying some of these relationships that have just been basically online, which is kind of what we're used to these days. That's normal. Back in the day, like, everything was handshakes and looking people in the eye and talking, and I was super glad to meet all of you and go through that. That was great. One other thing while I'm thinking about it, Rick Boyd donated money for his 2 sons-in-laws. I don't know. I'm going to need an English major to fix that for me. But Two awesome dudes. Met him at the bar. Never seen him before. Super cool. And you know, it's stuff like that that makes a dream happen. Rick thought his sons-in-laws would like to come and do this, and he made it happen. So kudos to Rick, and that was cool. I don't want to take all the credit for that, Misty. Yeah, you know what? I will take a little credit for that because the Millers, the McCains, the Vince live like miles from each other. And I think they all I know that I know the Millers knew the Vincents, but I don't know if they all knew each other fished. And I think I might have brought that trifecta together with all this. But yeah, ultimately, this family that we've kind of built doing these live things, let's keep it strong. Let's keep it going. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, Matt. You were missed. And Matt, if it wasn't raining, I was going to break out the Speedo and jump in the lake, but it was just too wet. Sorry. Hey, I got an idea. How about the people on here right now, so throw some lakes around. Let's just say let's draw a giant circle around Branson and go 200 miles away. Anybody got some ideas there? Next time, Matt. Next time. You know what? Hey, Steven, there's time. Misty has alluded to the fact that tax season's almost over for her, and she wants to do this monthly. That's a tall order, but we'll see. We might be able to make something happen. Stockton Lake. Okay, Pickwick. Palm de Terre. All three places I've never been to. I can see a problem with Stockton and Palm de Terre as far as lodging. But that would be more like a camping party, right, Steve? Correct me if I'm wrong. Pickwick, I've never been to, Todd. What's the lodging situation around there? Is it a camping type party, or is there options? Right on, Matt. Have a good night. Here, I'll do it real quick. Here you go. Fireball never gets not tasty. Yeah, we're gonna figure out where. And you know what, you guys, it's probably gonna. I don't know what people's timetables are like or what kind of vacation they got left, but I think we're gonna do another one this summer. It'll be sometime after the 4th of July. I am severely booked with baseball until 4th of July weekend, and then baseball's done for the summer. So we'll be looking sometime into July, maybe August. Beaver Lake in Arkansas. There's a few places around there, right? I mean, Bentonville's not far. Eureka Springs, there's lodging or camping options. Yeah. Todd, they won the championship last night. We didn't get home again until about 11 o'clock. Drake's team played at 6 to get into the championship, and then ultimately won the championship at about 10, a little after 10 o'clock last night. Stockton has lodging. Right on. What about, I kind of like the Tennessee idea. I've never been to Tennessee. Grand Lake. Oh, so I was talking to Jeff McCain about Grand Lake. Grand Lake's got casinos. And not that anybody has to be, especially a gambler. I'm not a huge gambler, but they typically have big hotels and plenty of parking. So, and there's several near Grand Lake from what I understand. Greg, the winning team has a whole pocket of cash. I'm not letting them pick. Just kidding. Yeah. So we'll kick it around. But I'm thinking, I mean, as far as my timetable goes, like I said, it's gonna have to be mid-July or after. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, the flow of how this should happen. And like I said, I wasn't so much stressed that I was nervous. I just wanted everything to go right. And after doing it one time, I think I overthought a lot of things, and it didn't have to be that thought about. It's pretty simple. Go out, fish, wham, eat, drink, have fun. So that one of my biggest takeaways for myself doing this was it's not that stressful. Just do it. Leading up to it, a lot of the stress, like I've said many times, was relieved by Misty. She helped me out tremendously. I mean, I know I keep talking about it, but stuff doesn't happen without good people around you, I promise. Tennessee, you got a vacation. Are there any lakes over there by Dollywood? I don't even know where Dollywood is. Back to work. Right on, Greg. Take it easy. All right. Well, I'm not against the Arkansas thing at Beaver Lake at all. But right now, I think strong in the running is a lake in Tennessee, Beaver Lake. And I kind of got a hankering for this Grand Lake business. I don't know anything about it, but it's a thought. What lakes are in that area? Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. I'm not really, honestly, you guys, without a map in front of me, I'm not familiar. Anybody? Come on, you Tennesseans, let me know. The only reason I say that place is because my kids love the roller coasters. And if I'm out fishing, they can go do that. Douglas Lake, Smoky Mountain Lake. There's also Kentucky Lake, I believe, which kind of straddles. It's a big horseshoe that comes down into Tennessee from Kentucky. Lake Chickamauga? I don't know where the hell Douglas is. Like, is it on the east side of the state, west, central, north, south? I'm just. People are liking this Tennessee idea. Cherokee. I think that's the lake I'm thinking of. I know where Grand Lake is. That's in Oklahoma. Hotel good, casino good. I like that, Jerry. Norris Lake. There's another big time bass lake for the pros. Okay, thanks, Steven. I now I kind of understand. So it's far east Tennessee. Um, you know, I think we got some good ideas tonight. I'm gonna get with Misty this week. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll formulate a potential few sites that we can hit, and we'll go maybe in a week or so. We'll come back to do this and talk about it again. I do still need to edit my day on the lake for the tournament, so you guys can see how that went. It was not without issues, but the fishing for me, was good. But I had a good net man. My father-in-law netted every fish that I brought to the boat. The one that got away, hopefully the cameras were on for that, but it was a beast. But it happens. I was using, you guys, I'll show you what the winning combination looked like. I got some. I went and got some tonight. They were these jigs. Not this color. Oh, wait. Yes. The Pee-wee football jigs. Kind of a green pumpkin with orange and a little green in it. Hold on. Hold on. Charlie Perryman, that is a fantastic idea. That is a really good idea. Would we include the event we just had, Charlie? Or then on? All right, I just started a bass club. I'll change the Facebook page once I figure out how to do that. I was trying to change the name of the tournament and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So, yeah, I agree, Steven. Of course I agree. I had a limit. Okay, for the 33 of you that are on here, what do you guys think about changing it? I mean, the tournament is a tournament, but what about like Charlie alluded to, just like right now, we're a bass club. What do you guys think? Right, Jay? I really appreciate Charlie for bringing that up because it never crossed my mind. Okay, here's the deal. If we're going to do this, the tournaments are going to be, each time we do this, it's going to be in a different state. Okay? So if the next one's in Arkansas, the next one could be in Tennessee. It could be in Kentucky. It could be in Oklahoma. It could be north. It could be in Nebraska or Iowa or Kansas. As far north as Illinois. As far south as maybe North Texas. What do you guys feel about that kind of a circle? I like that, Stephen. You're not, I really can't tell you that you're wrong, Stephen. And I think whatever Charlie Perryman's drinking is the catalyst of this right now. What are you drinking right now, Mr. Perryman? BTO Bass Club. Charlie, you just shot Steven's whole hypothesis all to hell. Misty, did you see what Okie Basson just said? True story, Steven. Someone's got to be sober to kind of come up with the ideas, and then we can just spout stuff out. I really like where this is headed. And I have the original sheet from our tournament that I'm going to keep forever. All the weights, all the names. Yeah. I like it. I like this. I just need a name. Short Bus Fisherman's Club? No. The BTO Bass Club's not horrible, but I also think that maybe we shouldn't limit it to just Bass Tracker boats. You guys let me know what you think, but I think we can still maintain the small boat culture, but I think that it would grow more after what I've learned from this one. We might get more growth if we're not so exclusive. I'll leave that up to the group, though. For those of you that didn't hear this, that were here, I got about a dozen phone calls a few days before the tournament from people just reading the Missouri Regatta page. And they came along, Table Rock Lake. And I had listed it for 75 boats because that's the most you could do without another permit. And I didn't know who was going to show up. When I signed up back in November, I just put 75 boats. And if that happened, great. If it didn't, whatever. But people were calling me going, tell me about your tournament. Well, my first question is, what kind of boat do you got? A 21-foot Nitro with a 250 and talons. And, and then when I tell them what's up, they were totally respectful and understood. But, I mean, that was a lot of money left on the table because their boats didn't jive with ours. So, there's that. There's probably that name already, Larry, I'm guessing. The BTO thing that Misty brought up is not terrible. BTO Bass Club, it's simple and effective. But it also sounds exclusive. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the length, the 17 and a half, what is it? That includes like Pro 175s, right? I'm okay with that. The Bass Whisperers Club. That's pretty good, Nacho. I'd say up to 75, honestly, Kenneth. Because I don't want to exclude the Pro 175 guys, and a lot of their boats can take a 75. I mean, that's just my opinion. And there's a pretty big following of 175 guys of a group that I'm in, and we might be able to coordinate with them. I know they were watching this to see how this worked out. And, you know, only word of mouth is going to make this or break this as far as other entities coming into the fold. So, you know, if you had fun, tell people you had fun. If you didn't, tell them you didn't. You know, I can take it. You know, if there's something you didn't like, please tell me so we can improve for the next one. Come closer to Idaho. There is not a whole lot between here and Idaho. But, like somebody alluded to, we could have regions. Perhaps, Glenn, you could be the BTO administrator for the Northwest region. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Wyoming. These are all ideas that, oh, put a mile per hour limit on larger horsepower. Jim, that's a great idea, but I don't know how you can do that. You know, I mean, not legally, but I mean, it's a trust thing, and you got to trust that they'll do that. Ralph, I love it for my ego, but this is bigger than me. I don't want my name to be on it. I want it to be us, not me. If that's okay, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I mean, Jim. You know, and I think everybody that we hang out with and hang out on here are honorable people. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Steve Miller, I am totally down if you want to wrap my boat with Shanka Lures advertisements. Bunch of old people. Where do you live, Kenneth? That's not too far away, Kenneth. We're going to go to Tennessee. That's right next door. Who knows? Maybe the championship could be in Georgia. I think so. Like Charlie said, have some events, have a point system, and then have a championship, a 2-day event. Championship should be a 2-day event. Yeah or nay? You are funny, Misty. Keep going. Lake Gunnersville. Hmm. I can't disagree with you, Ralph, but I can't do it. Like I will put my LLC on the line for this. I'll be down in the small print. That's fine. But when we come to name this, I want it to be something without my name on it. That's just what I want. It's like I said, it's about us. I'll continue doing what I'm doing, and I'll still be Mark Blackstock and MJB Fishing and all of this. That's still gonna carry on, but when it comes to this group and this idea, I definitely like the idea of an us name and not a Mark name. But I do like the idea. I'm not downplaying your thought. If Misty, check me on this one, but if we could get sponsored by Fireball, I would call it the Fireball Bass Club. Fireball Bass Tour. What do you guys think of Fireball Bass Tour? If we could get Fireball to play ball. Hi, Jim. Speaking of Fireball, it's been about 20 minutes. Why shouldn't we have another little Fireball? Cheers to the Fireballs. Screw who, Kenneth? Does Kenneth not like Fireballs? Yeah. That's what, hey, by the way, Stephen Wolf, this is what that looks like, by the way. That's 3.5 liters of Fireballs with pour spouts on both sides. Thank you again, Todd Connolly and Christy. Take a pick off the box. I like that. Where is this? Where are they out of? Wonder if they're out of Tennessee. If we did an event by them, they might be more inclined to get interested. Yes, they're in Frankfort, Kentucky. Anybody know where Frankfort, Kentucky is? It's all about the dangle, Stephen. I'm serious too. You got a pen? You got a pen, Misty? I need my goggles. I can't read this small anymore. Where have they gone? Oh. Gotta get my readers. This is what happens when you get old. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a little more work. It just says it's produced by the Sazerac Company in Frankfort, Kentucky. So I'll have to figure that out. Maybe the bottle says something different. It does not. Sazerac Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. So, boy, I'm telling you what, this brainstorming session, a lot of people go to college for a long time to figure this out. Frankfort's east of Louisville, half hour. Chickamauga, Nickajack, Gunnersville are all connected by the Tennessee River. Copy. Hello from Arizona. That's fantastic. I used to live there. 18 years, in fact. I do not miss it this time of year. Yeah, they didn't have Fireball when I was in those years. We were more into the Bacardi and Coke. And I don't know, whatever cheap 24 pack we could find. Milwaukee's best. $4,500 feet. Where are you at? Up in Flagstaff? If we could get Yingling on board, Misty, that would also be special. Just saying. They're in Potsdam or Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I can't remember if it's Pottsville or Potsdam. Is there a site more beautiful than that? I don't know. Douglas County in South is... Oh, Douglas. Yeah, you're down by the border, aren't you? Hey, when you're 19 and you know, you're spending water like it's just flowing out of the toilet or money, you don't have a lot left over. So whatever beer you can get with about $14 is what you're going to get. 101 Magazine Street, New Orleans. Magazine Street. Yeah, Misty, if they want me to come down there and pitch it, I'll do that. If they want to see my face, which Steven thinks is horrible. Stephen Wolf. Yeah, I know where that's at. There's a prison there. What's up, dude? Hey, thank you for the $24.99 in the live chat the other day. It paid for some beers. Thank you, Misty. Do you need a Bass Tracker or a Ranger? What do you got, Mr. Carlton? This is the stuff I'm talking about. I don't want to exclude somebody from this if their boat doesn't say tracker on it. Size of the boat will make a difference. What do you got, Mr. Carlton? You don't have a boat? Yeah. It's got to be an aluminum boat, 17 and a half feet or less, with no more than 75 horsepower. Right, Steven? You're going to get the bang for your buck when you're younger. Later on, you develop a taste for fine beer. And no means is... Oh, I've been... Yeah, I mean, that's a banging deal. The Pro Angler, yeah, it's pretty much the same boat. It's a little shorter and a little narrower, but other than that, it's got the same accoutrements. Misty, it's got to be more badass than that. Just have an open tournament. Well, and that's what I mean. I know that it will be open. All of the events leading up to the championship could be opens. But I think part of it is you got to join the club, which we'll figure that out. That's something that'll be figured out in the next week of how this club thing will evolve. Aluminum Boat League. I like this, Larry. That's a good one too. Sorry, Steven. Accoutrements. The ABL. It has a good ring to it. The ABL. Or the ABL. THEE. If any of you have ever been to Tampa Bay and you know about the Dollhouse, you'll know what I'm talking about. That is a good one, Larry. You got your thinking cap on. That's a lot to think about. Tell you what. Let's see here. Stephen Wolf. Yes, Stephen. You know what I'm talking about. Does my son bass fish? Yes, when he's not playing baseball. He's pretty fair weather too. Like, he's not down to go when it's like 34 degrees outside, but about from when baseball, in fact, this week after school we're gonna go. He doesn't have a game till he has a doubleheader on Thursday, but he has school. And the days are getting longer now. So when he gets home around 4 o'clock. I have the boat ready and we can go down and fish till 8:30, and we could put a den in 4.5 hours. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens to the lake, because a lot of water has come down and it's supposed to keep coming down for the next 2 days, periodically. So right now the lake looks great, but it could turn to chocolate milk like that if the Corps decides to just unload Table Rock into Taneycomo. And they will not let Taneycomo flood for obvious reasons. It's basically would wipe out the shopping in Branson. Yeah, Misty, and I think that kind of goes along with a club. There's it's not a profit thing, it's a to keep the club thing. If we have to take the little chunk of money, and we're talking a little bit of money, towards things like registration or places that charge for like launching, those little bits of money could go and pay all that. So that's something we don't have to deal with. We just pay our licenses and our lodging and show up. I don't know. That's wild, man. I just moved from AZ over here. I got tired. Douglas isn't too far away from Patagonia. So Patagonia was like my stomping grounds for a long time. Have you been there yet, Homestead Project? What lakes would I like to fish for bass? Wow. Well, all the ones I see these guys catch huge bass at. Falcon Lake, Lake Fork, where Christopher Lawrence is from. He just sends me pictures of giant bass all the time. Like, look what I got. And mine are like this. I would also like to fish up in some of those Great Lakes area for giant smallmouth. I think that would be a kick in the ass. Wherever. I would love to do that. The JDIOICCA. Have you guys seen Beverly Hills Cop 3 or 2? I forget which one it is, where they go to the amusement park, but yeah. That's too long, Steven. Yeah, I don't want to make shit up, Steven. So if Fireball says they will in any way, shape, or form be involved, I will definitely be like, Fireball's on board. Even if that means they're just sending us a bucket of shooters. Eufaula, no. So I'm just gonna call you Homestead Project. I have, since I've moved here, I have only fished in Table Rock Lake a handful of times. Taneycomo twice, and Bull Shoals about 75 times. It's so hard for me to not just go down the hill. Like, and I'm not kidding you. When I say down the hill, I mean, it's right down there. And it's It's tough. And I mean, and it's a giant lake. And I mean, I haven't scratched the surface of it. So it's almost every time I go out, unless I have if I have a short amount of time, I'll hit my favorite spots right around here. But I'm trying to branch out and go further and further to find new water just to see how it works. But yeah, I'm gonna get out eventually. We're just inundated. It's hard for me to get away from here with just time with Drake's baseball, and the kids have about 8 days of school left, and when that's over, that frees up a lot of time too. So I will be able to start branching out. You guys can hear Griffey? Child. Griffey, you settle down. Nacho, I want to fish Falcon Lake like now. But it's not reasonable right now. I wish it was. Right on, dude. Yeah. You know what? Uh, People love giveaways. I'll tell you right now. Um, and it's cool that you're doing all that. I'm sorry I couldn't be there or on there to participate in that, but by the time you probably did your giveaway, the fireball was flowing. Fireball? Anybody? Todd missed out on the Revo S Reel. Did he win it? You know how many people have missed out on cool stuff in my giveaways because they weren't online? A lot. A lot. Falcon Lake's down on the Texas-Mexico border. For those of you that don't know, epic. Oh, you guys, I got a new reel, and I'm here to tell you, I am sold on it. I bought one of these Shimano SLX 150 DCs, and I'm gonna buy another one. This reel it's the nicest reel I've ever owned. Besides, I have had a Shimano Calcutta back in the day, basically for steelheading or salmon fishing, and that reel was pretty special. But I haven't had anything that cool until I bought this. I highly recommend that reel, even though they're $189 plus tag, and it's a $200 reel. It's kind of the next level from the $100 reel. I am absolutely a believer. Mexican pirates? That's what these are for. We don't play around with Mexican pirates. Todd, I'm sorry if Bread for Bass gave you a reel and you were too busy to accept it. That's my bad. Yeah, this ultralight that Jeff McCain gave me. I can't wait to use it. I've never had a rod this small. I mean, shoot. I mean, we're talking. Whoop. This little whippy guy. 5'6", ultralight, fast action. My first lose rod, by the way. I've never had a lose rod. Right now, you guys, Misty Miller is planning the event. I promise you. She's got a piece of paper and a pencil. How difficult is the Terova to pull out of the water? It's the easiest thing. It has lift assist. It basically is on a spring system, and you just pull it out of the water. It's very simple. The deploy and the reploy are about the easiest things you can do. You don't need some kind of funky strap on it. You don't need any of that. It happens fast. I don't know. Next time I'm out in the water, I'll show you. It is probably, it's easier than doing the edge. You have a Mexican pirate story? We'd love to hear it. We like stories here. Yeah, I'd buy the Terova all day long, though. I love it. And I would buy the one that has the foot pedal and the remote. It's nice having that remote if you want to stand in the back of the boat and fish at something that doesn't make sense in the front. What happens with these lightweight boats is if you put it in spot lock and it's windy, it will keep you there. But the ass end of your boat is going to go with the wind. If you feel what I'm laying down, it's going to spin you around, and wherever the current is going or the wind is pushing, the ass end of your boat's going that way, and your motor is going to stay up front and keep you in position in a forward manner. So having that remote is handy if you want to be on the back of the boat or sitting in your seat and you're doing something. I use it, not a whole bunch, but I do use it. I have a 12 volt 45-inch model. I didn't want to add any more weight to the boat, adding another battery. The 12 volt does just fine. Some folks have had a lot of difficulty with the 24 volt model, which is quite a bit heavier than the 12 volt. And if you do not support the head of your motor, which we're going to go look at right now, if you do not have some sort of support for this head right here, it is going to rattle. It's going to rattle something severely. And not so much this, but it puts a ton of stress on this top plate right here. And people are having this entire weld come apart and basically split open like a sandwich. And it's happening with the heavier models. So take that advice for what it's worth. If you buy one of these, if you don't support the head, you are going to be sorry, I promise. I don't think they make a Terova without iPilot. I think they all have the iPilot. There's the iPilot Link, which is different. That links to the Humminbird stuff, and I believe it has the Mega Down Imaging transducer. So the difference is money. You're going to spend more money. And if you're not going to use Humminbird fish finders, it is an absolute waste of money to keep going up in that realm because your sonar will not work with that. You have to figure out a solution. If you're going to use a Lowrance, a Garmin, a Simrad, whatever, you're going to have to find a solution to put your transducer on. Mine is very easy. It works great. Might not be for everybody, but it is a solution that costs me about 20 bucks or less. So there are companies that make armatures that attach and then have a coil that comes down. But they cost upwards of 100 to 200 bucks for that system. And it's the same thing. I've had this on now since Thanksgiving, and I have zero issues. They were going on 7 months. All of those, yeah. You know what? Let me recant that statement. I don't know 100% for sure. What I do know is if you had like mine, for instance, that doesn't have the link, just has standard US2 sonar, which is your typical no down imaging, no side imaging, and you have to buy a special plug for that, which is, it's not horrible. I think I got it on eBay for 15 bucks or something. But you only, with this unit, will get standard definition sonar. So having these $1,000 fish finders and all this stuff is absolutely useless, honestly, unless you just want to look at your maps and sonar and you don't want to see side imaging or down imaging. So like I said, you have to come up with a creative way to mount the transducer and bypass. What happens with the Terrova that most of you know is the shaft passes through the mechanism that tilts and turns. So the cable, people are like, stuff it down the groove in there. Well, the old model, you could do that. The new model is much narrower. You cannot do it. And the transducer cables are too fat. That's just the way it is. If you do that, you're going to tear your cable apart. Why can't you fish in a Fisher 1600? That qualifies 100%. Well, Nacho, I just gave it hell, man. I kind of got an idea and I went with it. A lot of what I did, I think everybody else probably did, not because of me, but it just, a lot of the stuff makes sense. You know, fish finder up front, upgraded trolling motor, a ladder, which that was way late coming. The lighting, you know, I mounted an LED light on a ram mount that I can remove on a switch at the dash. That's pretty slick. And that was a very affordable upgrade that if you fish in the dark at all is paramount. That upgrade, I think out the door was 30 bucks for the wiring kits. That came with 2 switch wiring kits that are fused with 2 leads on each end and two of these lights right here. Right now, I just have one hooked up. When I recarpet the front deck, I'm going to add another ram mount. And this light, look at this mess. This light's going to be somewhere in this vicinity and be removable at night. My other one's removable. Like I said, I keep it under the seat. It's on a ram mount and with quick connects. All I do is screw it down on the ram mount. And that one has a green filter cover over it. Something that if you're a new boater or maybe you just don't know, it is absolutely fundamentally wrong to be shining a white light when you're driving your boat down a lake. It's blinding for other boaters. You're not really supposed to do that. If you are pulling up to an area and you want to see something, you turn it on, you take a look, you turn it off. Most of the time at night, you're better off letting your eyes adjust than have all these lights on. You know, unless you're shining them straight down on the water looking for fish or bow hunting. But to have them facing up and out, it's detrimental to the other boaters, ultimately. Oh, yeah, Steven. Yeah, nobody got lost that I know of. But yeah, I killed my battery. That sounds like a loaded question, Steven, like you knew that. My I ended up so I'm without going into too much of it because I am gonna show you guys, what happened. But yeah, I ran my electronics and my bilge and my aerator and never started my motor for 4 hours. I was running stuff nonstop. I had stuff plugged into everything, and I killed the battery, the cranking battery, and yeah, that was an epic fail. Jeff McCain came and gave me a hand, and I had to swap everything over to the trolling motor battery, but I didn't have the proper tools, and that was my fault. I used to have a toolkit in the boat, and I took it out for some dumbass reason, thinking, "Oh, I just live right there." I did. Yeah, I called Jeff McCain. That is a true story. I'm glad it was me though, and not somebody else. Truly, I, I did not take a sour moment away from the tournament because that happened to me. It was my fault, but I'm glad that it didn't happen to one of the other entrants. I, that was my biggest fear. Uh, like leading up to it, like the last week, I was just hoping everything went right and nobody got hurt or hurt their boats. People came from a long way away. And the last thing I wanted for them to leave is like they wrecked their boat at Table Rock Lake, and that we didn't need that. Yeah, I mean, I've had this boat for 3 years and now 3 or 4 months, and I never have killed the battery. I I've also never sat in one spot in spot lock and just bomb in the trolling motor for 4 hours with everything else on. I've never done that. Usually you're in a spot for an hour or so and then you start the motor and move. I did not do that. Who came the furthest? I believe Jim and Becky Matthews came from Michigan. What's ALB? Aluminum. I'd be totally cool having a tournament and everybody meeting at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Fun for the whole family. The boys and ladies that fish can go fish, and everybody else can go to the fun park. Yeah, what did I like? Larry McBride's was good. It was on that same. I'm looking for it. Scrolling back. Larry. Yeah, Larry said the Aluminum Boat League, ABL. I like that. Let's make sure it's not. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Steve Guzman and his crew came from Chicago, Illinois. Jim and Backy from Michigan. Stephen and Andrew from Texas, Austin, Texas. And I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know which is further, but several hundred miles away, people came. And all of them indicated to me that they would do it again, and they had a great time, regardless of how far they had to drive. So I'm 100% down to go to Ohio. Sandusky. I've been there. There's a killer campground, Camp Sandusky, like 5 minutes from the lake. Or there's a giant resort on the Cedar Point Isthmus. That little, I mean, it's a small piece of land that goes out, but if you haven't been there for sunset in your boat on Lake Erie, looking at all that, it's gorgeous. Ben and Mark from Indiana. There's another trip. That's a haul. The Connollys from Memphis, Illinois, or Memphis, Tennessee. People came from a long way away. Yeah, but my ramp is almost, it's disappearing by the day. But Larry, we're still catching fish. Maggie caught a nice 3-pounder yesterday. I caught one. My aunt caught a smallmouth just maybe a quarter a mile from the boat ramp. The lake is green in a good way. It's not brown. There's visibility, but like I said, we'll see what Table Rock does. It's not up to us. We're at the bottom. And anybody who is a plumber knows shit rolls downhill and paydays on Fridays. I want to find out if we can Facebook that too, Misty. I don't want to step on anybody's feet or copy anybody. I want this to be original, if that's okay. Don't bite my fingernails. Ah, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the third plumbing rule. Anybody gets skunked? Yes. Yes. I'm not going to say any names, though. But yeah, there are people that did not weigh fish. ABFL is taken. How about the ABT, the Aluminum Boat Tour, or Aluminum Bass Fishing Tour, ABFT? Well, yeah, business is always first, Misty. I like the idea of throwing tour on the end. It makes it sound real official. Maybe we could get like jackets. Well, Charlie Perryman made an extremely good suggestion that maybe we do some sort of a, from basically this event, which I know some people weren't at, but I know people probably can't come to all of them, but maybe July, August, September, we try to do an event in a central area, different lake each time. Like I said, like we did Missouri already. So it might be Arkansas, Kentucky, Nebraska, whatever, and then have a final 2-day event somewhere. So basically it's just basically a trial run, I think, this year, and then next year maybe we could grow on that, but finish this season with a small event tour system with a championship, and then see how it works, and then next year go full force. And people had ideas of maybe central areas, like, the Northeast could be run by somebody and have events. The straight North, Midwest could be a region. The Southern region, say Texas to Kansas, in a big circle. The Pacific Coast, the Southwest, basically California, Nevada, New Mexico, and Arizona. That could be a region. There's people that watch this that are in all of these areas. And if everybody, maybe we do this for the rest of this season and and keep it where it's at with the people that are interested. And then maybe we can tap into having people basically manage those areas for tournaments up there. And then maybe we have a national championship next year. Thoughts on a national championship? That's obviously something you'd have to plan for because, yeah, it could be far away. But in that instance, I think the most feasible thing to do would pick a lake somewhere in the middle of the country. Somewhere where people coming from everywhere are basically meeting in the middle for the championship. Thoughts on that? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody can do the Southwest region. I can do this region. Somebody can do the Pacific Northwest, the Northeast, the North Midwest, Southern, Eastern states, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana. I mean, does that make sense? But like I said, we got to have like a baseline to see how it works. And I think for this year, we've talked about it. Like, I don't know if we're going to branch out too far. I do like the idea of maybe Lake Erie for the final. That's not a terrible idea. Sometime after Labor Day, maybe. Smallmouth City up there. And and ultimately, this isn't gonna suit everybody. Not everybody is willing to travel. And it's not maybe that they're not willing to, but schedules, family, work, things get in the way. So, I mean, I don't think in any way, shape, or form people are trying to exclude people. But for the time being, I think we're going to keep the bulk of these people that traveled here. I think we'll do it again. You got to remember, there was almost 400 people on the tournament Facebook page, and 30 people showed up. And for a long time, people suggested to me, let's have a tournament, put together a tournament. Well, I put together one, and right in the middle, you can't get more in the middle of the country than where I'm at. And 15 boats showed up. And like I said, I'm not angry about it, but I don't think it matters where we do this. A lot of people are going to be like, hell yeah, hell yeah. And when it's go time, that list is going to shrink. And it's just the way it is. It's not because people, for whatever reason, they can't do it. It's not a bad thing. It's just life. So, we got to be realistic there. And I, in my opinion, I'm going to cater to the people that want to come. Where in Lake Erie? I'm thinking Sandusky Harbor. I've been there. It's perfect. Or stay at that resort at Cedar Point. There's plenty of camping around there. I'd camp again at that Camp Sandusky any day of the week. I would absolutely stay there again. There's a ton of lodging in Sandusky. It is a resort town for the Cedar Point and fishing. But that area would make sense. It's at the bottom of the lake. It's the closest anybody's going to get to Lake Erie. That makes sense. Thank you, Todd. Well, practically speaking for my region, but that's why I'm saying, Stephen Wolf, you could run that region over there. there are these boats in every part of the country, and every one of them, when I announced this, were like, "Why don't you do it in Florida?" Well, I live here, and it's not that I'm stuck here. I'm willing to travel, but maybe the people that came here aren't willing to go to Florida. There's enough people in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana that are within like a day's drive of those locations. And maybe as this evolves, somebody can head up that region. Maybe you. Yeah, I will. I'll email you. I don't know why they hid that. I'm going to show it. So, yeah. It's just, it's hard for me to be all over the country unless I'm getting paid. I'd do it. If I was collecting a paycheck from this, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would have tournaments wherever. But, ultimately, this didn't start for me to get paid. I created an LLC to cover my ass in case something happened. But I mean, if people want me to run tournaments in their areas, I will show up. And I'll bring my team. Misty, are you down to travel? It's getting, my eyes are squinting. I almost bought, hey, real quick. I was at Home Depot tonight, and those lights that you screw into a socket that have the 4 arms that fold out with like 400 LEDs on them? Does anybody have one of those? Yes, Jay. Well, yeah, like say Northwest Louisiana and surrounding states in that area. Like, you draw whatever area that is and draw a circle, a few hundred miles around and say this is the area. And people are going to come from further away if you do it. If this works and people are excited about it, they're going to come. It will. I guarantee you this thing can grow. It's just a matter of being consistent and being honest. Yeah, they were $25 at Home Depot, and I was looking at it, and it said as seen on TV on the box, so I didn't get too excited. But I think I need one. I only have one bulb and then the garage LEDs, which I have to hit the button to keep those on. But I think that if I did one of those lights that's got the 4 arms and you can aim them around, the lighting would be better and I wouldn't be squinting because it's dark over here and light over here. So it's kind of messing with me. I will, yeah. So Misty, are there tax implications to any of this? Or do we just keep it on a cash basis? Copy that. You guys saw it. I will not be doing PayPal anymore for payments. We're going to do check or Venmo or Zelle. PayPal, if you don't do it right, they take money out. And it happened during this tournament. I covered it. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not saying a word. But it just, PayPal sucks. And PayPal also is holding money longer. I got paid by people that I know had money in the bank. And it sat in PayPal waiting for almost 8 days to go into my account, which that's not acceptable. I just think that's, and I'm not saying it's your guys' fault, but PayPal sucks. Yeah, eventually all the money goes into the bank. And, that's why we had, like, I took pictures of every check that came in, and that was all documented. So I had check numbers to refer to if somebody said I didn't pay, which never happened. Yeah, everybody paid, everything was flawless, but I did cover my ass on that end. If somebody said, "Hey, I sent you a check," I'll be like, "Hey, what's the check number?" None of that happened. It all worked great. But I think paying by check or like Venmo and Zelle directly into the business account is the best way to go for everybody. Everybody's covered. You can see that your stuff got sent. If there's any shenanigery, I keel over and die. You guys know what to do. Call Baby T. She has access, but good night, Homestead Project. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the ideas. If I come to Arizona, maybe you could take me to Patagonia. I'll show you how to flip the tules there. That's all that really works there. Yeah, whatever. However we need to do it, Misty, we'll talk about it. Good night, Kenneth. Or you're just saying good night to Homestead Project. Yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't have a board, Larry. I think that keeps everybody honest. I'm going to go ahead and vote Misty Miller be the accountant. Treasurer. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Larry. Yeah. Let's get this ball rolling, and we'll address a group of board members shortly. I got plenty of police officers. We got Workman. We got Stephen Smith. Todd Connolly. Oh, who's the other guy? We got several police officers that are on here, so we'd have a pretty good security team. Oh, you guys meant like officers on the board. Yeah, so yeah, we'll address that board situation later, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Misty's cool with being the treasurer/accountant. Yes, Jonathan. Yeah, Ralph. Well, thank you, Steve. I agree, Ralph. But like I said, Kenneth, none of your biz. Why the sad face? Now, Ralph, I agree with you. For this, we're midway into the fishing season, so I think, like we talked about, let's see how this progresses through the fall, and then we make a plan. January 1st, or it's tough for some people. Like people down in the southern states, fishing is year round. They don't winterize their boats. They don't take a break. They can fish every day, pretty much. So, but as far as like the tournaments, in my group, the group of people that are willing to travel that we met over the weekend, I think we're going to keep it central for now in this group. Now, if other groups want to get involved, and you know what? I think Misty and I will talk, and we will have a Facebook page and a plan for this brainchild within the week. We'll make the Facebook page. We'll share it with anybody who wants to be involved. There will be a questionnaire, and this is one thing I'm huge on. I'm a moderator in about 5 groups, and so I get these requests to join like Bass Tracker Classic XL, Bass Tracker Heritage Group, Bass Tracker XL / Bass Tracker Classic XL group. All these groups, I will not approve it if you don't answer the questions that those groups put out there. Like, what kind of boat do you have? They don't even care. Do you own a tracker? You could say no. Or do you promise to be cool? It's a few basic questions. I didn't have anything to do with those questionnaires. But if you don't take the time to answer them, I'm not going to approve you. Other people might, but for me, it just seems laziness. Like, if you want to be a part of it, answer the questions. And there will be a questionnaire for this, I promise you, because I don't want just a bunch of people coming in there and stirring the pot that have nothing to do with what the goal here is. And if you guys have an issue with that, let me know, please. Well, yeah, we're not doing anything in Ohio till later on or next year then, because I'm booked until July 4th. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I feel like as far as my thing goes, what you guys are watching in the giveaways, it's 99.9% positive. Occasionally someone will stroll through and be like, I came here to watch you fix something on your boat. Well, don't watch for 2 hours and then complain that you didn't like it. That's like ordering a steak and eating the whole thing and saying it was too cold. Okay? If you don't like it, turn it off. Like, truly, like, it's, to me, some of it's mind-boggling. But I do like where this is going. I think that this is very positive, and like I told the people that were here at the event, everything that is happening, I want to be a group thing, not a Mark thing. I will be there and I will be the voice. I'll do whatever it takes. But I really want the group to be involved. And to me, that builds this family more than one person being a dictator and saying, this is what we're doing. Because I think that could be a turnoff. If everybody is in agreement, I think everybody's going to be happier. That's just my opinion. Bread for bass, get used to that. Don't let that hurt your. Don't let. So I went a long time without having one thumbs down and negative comment, and I got one. When it happened, I was like, what the hell? How could you not like me catching a catfish in the Red River of the North in Grand Forks, North Dakota? Well, I said shit or something in the video, and they said I wasn't a very good role model for kids. Well, all of my videos say not made for kids. I checked that box just in case. It's not that I don't like kids. I have 2 kids. I like kids. But you can't please everybody. And a lot of people are just going to go watch your channel to get free shit and then unsubscribe. So, and I don't know the reality of the subscription thing, right? I have about 2,400 subscribers. Maybe 10 to 15% pay attention. Those are facts. And you're going to find that out as you go along. You can see those analytics. It starts out like gangbusters, and then they'll stop watching. And basically, you're going to develop a core group of people, and they're going to watch. Yeah, I'm okay with it. So, people will give you a thumb, like, you know, you give stuff away and somebody gives you a thumbs down, right? And you're like, why? What did you not like about me giving stuff away? Well, people are butthurt that they didn't win. Those are facts, and that's part of the learning curve. And, you know, it took me a year and a half to get over that. I had a guy chew my ass about it. Oh, the same people win every time. And I'm like, dude, it is random. I use a comment picker that I have no control over. And he still thought I was cheating to give my friends stuff. Well, bull. Absolutely not. That is not true. I would never do that. I try to maintain a level of ethics, and I think that is why people continue to watch and support what's going on, because they do believe that there's an ethical and moral thing happening here. Whether I say shit or not or drink Fireball, I'm honest. And I think that is the key driver. And that's just my advice for Bread for Bass. That's me talking to him. If you, my advice is be consistent. Don't rely on giving free shit away to get subscribers. That won't get you there. I promise. I didn't start giving anything away until I started getting paid from YouTube. Once I started getting paid, I gave all that money back. I still do. I give every dollar back, whether it be in all the prize stuff. And so shipping will kill you. Okay. Shipping is, you know, if I give away $100 worth of stuff, shipping's going to be 50 or 60 bucks. These are just facts. It's $5 to $6 an item that you mail out. Cheers. We are mixing tonight. I don't know if that's a good idea. I got a strawberry Bud Light seltzer. I had a glass of scotch. I'm having Fireballs. I'm supposed to go fishing at 6:30 in the morning with my father-in-law. Baby T is going to launch the boat, by the way. For those of you at the tournament, you know what I'm talking about. Listen, Jonathan, I'm going to tell you right now. Buy a used one. Honest to God, when it comes time for you to buy your boat, try and find a used Heritage or a classic, whatever. But right now, they're over 15 grand with a 40 horse. That's ridiculous, because you can buy a lot more boat for 15 grand than one of our boats. I hope I'm not hurting anybody's feelings that bought one, but 15's too much. I would be out. I would have bought a used glass boat with 150 horse on it before I spent 15 on one of these. That's just honest opinion. Yeah, Bread for Bass, that's no shit. Yeah, and I give my stickers away. I don't charge anybody. It's but it's paid for from YouTube earnings. So it's covered, but all this YouTube stuff basically is a hobby because at the end of the day, I'm spending all that money giving it back. And that nobody, I believe, has ever heard me complain. I do it because I love it. And I like the people that I'm surrounded with because of it. Oh, yeah. That's another thing, you guys. Installing fish finders on your boat is a very easy thing, even for somebody that's not mechanically inclined. And just not my videos. There's a lot of videos out there. It doesn't have to be mine. But before you go spend 100 or 200 bucks at Bass Pro Shops, put a fish finder on your bow, watch some videos and just kind of take it in. Watch different people. Don't just watch mine. Watch other people and you'll get a wealth of information. And you'll be like, yeah, it might take you all Saturday, but you're going to learn something about your boat. You're going to learn how your boat's wired, and you're going to save a couple $100 and maybe a lot of time on the water, because sometimes when you take your boat to places that have stuff like this done, it might be there for a while. It's not like the old car stereo shop days where you showed up and an hour later you rolled out with a CD player. These places don't operate like that. I ordered carpet for my deck extension that matches this carpet from Bass Pro Shops 3 weeks ago. Guess what? They called me today. I needed it last week. So they're going to sit on it for a while. And by the way, a 5 foot wide by 3 foot section is $96. For anybody that wants to know how much it costs to do your deck extension and factory carpet, a 5 foot wide by 3 foot section, which is plenty to do that, and your step, if you want to carpet your step and match your boat, it's a $100 bill. That's something to think about. Hey, Glenn, nail them, dude. Let me know how it goes. Have a good day. Yeah, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge on those groups, and there's people that, in my opinion, are far too militant on those groups, especially when it comes to like your break-in period and all that crap. I don't put a lot of stock in all that bullshit. Some of the people are just so concerned about drilling a hole in their boat. We didn't buy Lamborghinis, folks. We bought Kias. That is a fact. I fish in this boat. I've taken this boat. We're pushing 25 to 30,000 miles on the trailer. Okay. Original batteries, original tires, everything still looks and functions as it should. But like, you will never see me polish this boat. I'm not going to take the metal off so I can make it look shiny for one day. To me, I bought this boat to fish in, not collect it. If I was going to do that, I'd bought two and parked one and put a bubble around it. Right now the value's up because Bass Pro Shops raised their prices, and demand is, I don't know where demand's at right now, honestly. Because there's boats like this for sale, and they're still for sale. If it was such a hot commodity, one of these just went for sale for $9,200 with little hours on it and upgraded fish finders. If that doesn't sell in 2-3 weeks, I'm not seeing the demand for this. I'm not. The other caveat to buying a used boat is banks tend not to lend on used boats as freely as they do on new boats. So I don't know how banks are going to justify loaning on a boat that they loaned on last year for 12 grand, and now the same boat is 15 grand. Well, 15 plus tax. You're looking for one of these out the door right now, you're looking at 17 grand. Because that price is not reflective of tax and licensing, state tax if it's involved, all that bullshit. So, I don't know. Yeah, the void your warranty crew. My warranty's done, folks. On my motor, anyway. It's a 3-year warranty. I did not pay for an extra, 2 years of my warranty. They say the hull's warranted for life, but so many people have kind of proven that theory wrong and are fighting with Bass Pro Shops constantly about issues. I get comments all the time. Are you having trouble with your welds? No, I'm not. I don't know why I'm not and other people are. I don't know if my boat was built on a Wednesday and theirs was on a Friday. It really, it's mind-boggling to me, but it seems to be with a lot of the newer boats that things are failing. And I don't know, I can't explain why. I don't work there. I don't even want to speculate. Hey, by the way, I'm not talking shit about Kias. I sat in Misty's Kia last night. It's cool. I'm just saying on price point. Period. On price point alone. We bought the cheapest boat that you could get in the water with that had this level of amenities. And that's a fact. If anybody changed my mind. But it's just, it is what it is. It's a 16 foot 8 inch fishing boat. You know, and the longer you take care of it, the longer it's going to last, of course. But we didn't buy $80,000 Skeeter, Ranger, Triton, Phoenix, whatever. And, if I were to buy a 21 foot Nitro, okay, hear me out. This is my train of thought. So a 21 foot Nitro with a 250 on it is the budget big bass boat. Okay, compared to the Skeeter, Phoenix, Ranger. Even though Bass Pro Shops bought most of the brands, the Rangers are 80 grand, the Nitros are 60. They look the same, they do the same thing, they have the same motors, the same mods, but it's 20 grand less. So in my mind, that's the cheaper end of things. And that's what we bought. We bought the cheaper end of things. And, like I said, it is what it is. Take care of it. It'll last forever. Some people have trashed their boats. Like trashed them. And every time you buff your aluminum boat that's like that thin, you're taking off metal every time. I don't know if that's the best thing. Oh, I know, Misty, and I'll be much obliged. If you want to race, Misty, just tell me when. Let's do it on a track. That would make a great video. The president versus the treasurer. Mono y chick mono. Quarter mile. Kia versus Audi S5. I'm sure that we could take bets for that and raise money for charity. That's what we're here for. A 98 model what? What's Mocan? I don't know what that is, Steve. I'm still new here. Is that a racetrack? My email is mjbfishingllc@gmail.com. mjbfishing@gmail.com. She's going to need twin turbos and the nitro system, bro, Chach. You got to remember, mine's supercharged and it's all-wheel drive. So there's going to be no slippage at the line. There's going to be none of that. The launch control and the dual clutch Super Guy V16. So Larry McBride has a one up on all of us because his boat's going to handle rougher water better than ours if things get nasty. I will wear my life vest during the race if we can raise enough money for charity. And I'm not kidding you guys. I will race Misty on a closed road for charity and inflate a life vest during the race for enough money to give to a good cause. These are things I'll do. Can we get it privately for an hour, Steve? I think another good race, Steve, would be Tabitha's Grocery Getter with my boat on the back against your truck with your boat on the back. That would be another good drag race. Drag racing tracker classic boats. Yeah, the new plate, Ralph. The new, and I don't care what boat it is. They got a Pro 170 sitting out in front of Bass Pro right now. It's been sitting in the rain, like it's wet and hammered. The weather's been horrible. It's got an $18,000 and $40 price tag on it for a Pro 170 with the same fish finder that we got on our boats when we bought them. So you're looking at 20 large out the door for basically this boat with the casting deck and a skosh bigger live well with VersaTrack, which I don't even care about. Like, for people that get excited about VersaTrack to spend a couple $1,000s more, to me, is just mind-boggling. Some quarter 20 hardware sliding around in a thing that you can put a fish holder on. I don't understand that for thousands more. I don't. I really don't understand that excitement. Yeah, me too. My boat with me and my father-in-law on it at the most hit 28.5 miles an hour. We're both, well, he's a little heavier than me, but I'd say we were almost pushing the limit of, what is it, 555? We were probably in the 520 range, pushing the limit of the weight limit according to the placard. I don't care, but it's for me, and like, you know, I've never given people shit about it. It's just my opinion. These are not racing boats. Like, talking about hole shotting one of these boats, like, is a joke to me. It's just, these weren't made to go fast. They were made to go fishing. If you want a boat that gets you the hole shot, buy something 18 feet long with a 150. You'll get the hole shot and you'll go 55 miles an hour like that. And save a bunch of money, ultimately. Yeah, the whole lake was rolling. There was horn honking from every boat in the marina. It was pretty epic. I want to thank Bob Sink, by the way, for backing my boat in that day. That was top notch, brother. Todd, you're going to bed? I'll see you tomorrow. What time are you going to be here, Todd? By the way, you guys, I've got a black Tracker Classic XL out in the side yard for sale. I'll let it go for 15 grand cash. You just have to be here before 9 in the morning tomorrow. And bring a torch. It's locked up heavily. It's owned by a cop. 9 to 10. Todd, I don't know if it's not raining, I'll probably be on the lake. Tabitha will be here though. And she has your guys' stuff you asked for. Why are you mad? My father-in-law is going to be pissed if we don't go fishing tomorrow because I blew it off today, but it was crappy. I'll tell you what. Why don't I buy what and upgrade? It's because it's Todd's boat, and I'm just kidding. It's not my boat to sell. I'm just trying to upset Todd because I know he's on vacation. No, I wouldn't buy another one of these. And it's not because I don't like them. I have one. Like, this boat is perfect for what I use it for. If I upgrade, it's going to be a big glass boat, you guys. And I'm going to keep this. This is a great boat for Drake to learn in a couple of years. And to just go out and fish. And I can go in places where those boats can't. You guys know that with your own boats. I'm not going to sell your boat, Todd. It's locked up heavily. And plus, you're probably packing heat. I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, it's supposed to rain tomorrow and Wednesday. But my father-in-law's like, I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I'm like, I'm about to go live, and everybody knows how that works out. I'm going to have another shot of Fireball because that's how we're going to do things tonight. Ooh, a little sniff. But supposed to rain tomorrow. Yeah, so listen, Todd. I'm not going to go too far tomorrow. I think I'm just going to fish a couple areas that I'm going to try and get some smallmouth tomorrow, and they're pretty much right out in front. Call me when you're on your way, and I'll come down. I'll come to the ramp. I want to see you guys off. I really appreciate you guys coming here and everything you've done. So call me in the morning when you guys are close, and I'll come to the ramp. My bilge pump works great as long as you start the battery once every 4 hours. My plan is to pay off my Classic XL in 2 years. Yeah, that's a great idea. And you know what? Here's what you do, Todd. You sell your 50 horse, assuming you have a 50 on your boat. 50 horse, you could sell that for a fat down payment on your glass boat if you're going to put a 9.9 kicker on your boat. That's what I would do. If that's your plan, that 50 horse you could sell for about $5-6 grand. So that's a healthy down payment on a glass boat. Hey, good night, Todd, Christy. Did I miss anything? 8 threes in a Fox body. That's quick. That's a fast lap. I can't do that. Misty, what I can tell you, though, is mine will do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. And it's a 4,100-pound car. Think about that. That's pretty quick for a 4,000-pound vehicle. Yeah, well, you know what? There's 30 people on here. 29 likes. Hey, you guys, I'm not real big on pushing that stuff, so I appreciate the people saying it. Hitting the like button and subscribing, it's free. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it does help the channel. It helps with the algorithm, and ultimately it helps with the revenue that the channel gets to give back. So if you're new to the channel, you know that, we do these giveaways and I pay for them 100%, for the exception of we get donations. We've had several people donate a lot of money to give away a lot of cool stuff, and every dime of it goes back to you guys. So that's part of the thing. And oh my God, I got some crazy bug on me. What the hell? Oh, look at that. That bug was in my shirt. What is this? That's the inside of my shirt. What kind of bug is that? I don't know what that is. He's sucking the life out of me? Child. Hey, Bread for Bass, have a good night, brother. Reach out to me anytime, man. Anytime. 6 minutes for my S10. That's a quick quarter mile. A June bug. Hey, Ralph. So, here's the thing. This is like selling a house right now. You might be able to sell your house for more than and make some equity, but the next thing that you buy is going to be more than it should be. Inflation, I mean, if you're looking new, if you're looking used, you can find deals. There's desperate people selling things all the time. But you sell your boat for 14 grand, well, the next guy that you're looking at, his bigger boat, he's selling his for 20. So, that's why I'm not going to sell this boat. I could definitely sell this boat for what I paid for it in 3 years of, I'm not going to say abused. I don't think I've abused this boat. But, I mean, everybody on the planet that's watched this channel, and you guys, by the way, we're getting close to 1 million views, which blows my mind. But absolutely astonishing. When it hits 1 million views, there will be a massive giveaway. And that'll come from me. It's just an appreciation for I just can't believe that 1 million people have watched a video. It's astonishing to me that in 3 years, and there's people I know, I'm just a tiny dude in this giant pool of 40-something million people on YouTube. And to have 1 million people watch my little tiny channel, to me is astonishing. So I appreciate every view, every like, every comment. I respond to every single one. Whether it be a thumbs up or a verbal comment, I read them all. Know that. Yeah, well, I also think going 100 miles an hour in a bass boat's insane. People might think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, 50, 60 miles an hour in a boat is fast enough. That's why, for me, I don't need I don't need to go 70 or 80. That is fast on the water. I mean, 37 in one of these with a 50 horse feels fast. Double that on a boat that's only 2 feet longer, 2.5 feet longer, and you're going twice as fast. It's not for the faint of heart, and you better know what you're doing. Because it gets real in about 1/4 of a second when you hit a wakeboard's waves that you couldn't see on a big open lake that are coming, that you're moving too fast to make the adjustment. You are going for a ride. Well, in our boats, at 35 miles an hour in a straight line, it's a comfortable ride. Totally cool. Big, wide, sweeping turn, no problem. But even in my boat at 32 is pretty much top speed with my 255 in it, loaded down. You go to make a left turn or a right turn, that boat's not responding. Okay, it's gliding. It's just slight. It's a flat bottom boat for the most part. It does have a bit of a V, but for the most part, this is a flat bottom boat. And as you're turning, you're just drifting this boat. So, you're going down the lake at 32 miles an hour, and here comes a bunch of logs floating down the lake. Your adjustment with the steering wheel is not going to be a gripping turn. It's going to be the sliding motion, and it's actually going to move away before it comes back. And it's things like that I think a lot of people don't think about, and they run into stuff, and then they have big problems. Bust their transom, bust the prop, bust whatever. And I'm guilty. I got some nicks in my prop, but it's more from like turning the boat around real close to shore and hitting a boulder. Yeah, dude. A Nitro Z18 with a 68 miles an hour, that is fast. That is not a big boat. You got to think about it. That's a foot and a half longer than one of these. Granted, it's probably 6 inches or more wider, but 68, 70 miles an hour in a bass boat, if you haven't done it, you should try it. If you're thinking about getting a bigger boat, go ride in one, because it's an eye-opener. 68 on the water feels like 110 in a car. And if you don't like going 110, you're not going to like going 68 in a boat. You're good, Brad. Take it easy, man. No pressure. Well, that was your problem, Misty. You're racing old men. They were just trying to pick up chicks. There's a dude that drives around the Branson Landing in a Lamborghini SVJ that you don't want a piece of him, I promise. He's driving an $800,000 Lamborghini. He's probably all about trying to embarrass people. Yeah, I bet. I bet you were white knuckled. That is fast, dude. We used to fish this lake in Arizona, and my buddy's Champion that had a 150 on it. And this is ridiculous, right? His boat went about 55 topped out. Well, it would literally, when you got to the no wake zone or the wake zone where you could take off out of the harbor, it took 47 seconds to get to the other end of the lake. So it doesn't really matter on lakes that size how fast your boat is in a tournament. Now, if you're fishing at Table Rock or my lake or any other lake that's miles long, 60, 70, 80 miles long, yeah, speed does matter because you can branch out. But on small lakes and tournaments, having giant horsepower doesn't mean anything. Zero. So that's kind of why, like down the road, I wouldn't mind doing tournaments on smaller lakes because their horsepower doesn't mean anything on a smaller lake. Doesn't. On a big lake, it means something because you can definitely cover more water. So, I don't know. I was rambling there. I'm sorry, but I kind of got heated. Yeah, and so like I don't know. That's one thing that I would not do to a boat is violate the placard. Because that's like the first thing that the Coast Guard or whoever's monitoring your water is going to look at. They're going to be like, 3 people, 40 horse. Well, you got a 75 and you got 5 jackholes in the boat. Here's your ticket. Those are realities. I'm probably safe where I'm at as far as getting hassled a whole bunch. But like if I go to Table Rock or Lake of the Ozarks, some of these bigger lakes with more traffic, you have more opportunity to get in trouble with the patrol that patrols those lakes. Have a good night, Steven. I know it's late there. What time is it? We're an hour 40 in. Oh, it's 12:20 in your neck of the woods. I'm on a river in northwest Montana. That's beautiful. Is that by Whitefish? Are you near Whitefish? I've been to Helena, Montana. I had a hell of a good time there. Right on. What's that? What's that big lake up there? There's a big ass lake right there. I can't think. I mean, it better not be Whitefish Lake or I'll feel stupid. I fished in Coeur d'Alene a lot. Lake Coeur d'Alene's badass. Flathead Lake. That's right. Yeah, that's a big lake. Just out of curiosity, are there flathead catfish in there? Or is that one of those names that doesn't make sense? Guys, we're going for a walk. I need some ice. Oh, Misty, look at this. Somebody's been trolling in the cake and left the cover off. That's all that's left of the white cake from the event. All right, we got some ice. I almost tripped over my golf bag. That would have been bad. Okay. Hold on. I'm still here, you guys. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm just looking for a proper beverage. Yeah, there we go. Well, Tabitha scraped all frosting off, which is my favorite part, which most chubby people like frosting. Ralph Slayton. Ralph, thank you very much for that donation. That will go towards the giveaway. Just telling you. Thank you very much. That's great. By the way, if you guys are wondering, I'm having a black cherry seltzer. I drank a lot of Shock Top over the weekend and I had some swelling in my knees. This sounds completely, I know I'm sounding like a complete pansy, but this stuff doesn't have a bunch of sugar in it, and my damaged joints do not feel as bad when I drink the seltzers. So that's that. I have made it down to, I forget the cove off to the right, but it's just past the Missouri-Arkansas border as you're going south. It would be on the southwest side. It's a big cove that goes in. I forget the name offhand, but it's just over the border. That's as far as I've gone. But what I can tell you, Larry, is I have seen I've seen about every cove for the exception of a handful that just don't interest me. They don't look good to me, which might be nuts. I could be missing out on 10-pound bass. But I pretty much fish from the Power Site Dam down to the border extensively, and I do know that water. And I'm going to start going further. If I'm going to fish, been to Bee Creek. Yes, Larry, Bee Creek. That's the name. Thank you. That's as far as I've been. But if I'm going to fish in the U.S. Open Bass Pro Shops last chance qualifier in Bull Shoals, I need to go further, because that's going to launch out of Arkansas from what I'm hearing. And I don't know anything about that end of the lake. What I can tell you is the further you go towards Arkansas, the clearer the water gets. And for instance, at Table Rock is kind of the same way. If you're anywhere near the dam, it's about gin clear. So I had a ton of success in practice near the dam in about 20 foot of water. So what happens is between 12 and 20 feet of water there, it goes from just, you can see perfectly everything going on 12 feet below you to darkness. So what I was doing was sitting on that 12-foot shelf, casting into darkness. You know, as far as I could cast a Ned rig, which isn't a ton, you know, maybe 50 feet. And letting it fall. And the smallmouth were hitting it on the fall, or right as it hit the bottom, I did a couple bumps, boom. And it would happen that fast. But those fish on a sunny day are going to sit in the darkness. That's, I mean, I am no means a professional fisherman, but that's my experience. And then we moved out to this island, tiny island, that's the size of my house, out in the middle of the lake by the Branson Bell, and I fished all the way around it. Same thing. Find where the water goes from clear to dark. And it's not because of the water, it's because of the depth. Sit on that depth line where you're looking here and it's clear, and over on the other side it's dark, and cast out into the darkness and bounce it back up. And that's where you're going to get your bites, in my opinion, in clear water. So I need to go down further into Arkansas and experience that to prove that theory in this lake. Because this lake fishes completely different than Table Rock. The stuff I do here does not work there. It didn't work anyway. I didn't catch any fish on a chartreuse. Not one fish on this setup. Yesterday, we come home, go fishing for 3 hours. I get 2 3-pounders with this. I couldn't catch a cold with that at Table Rock. Same with the black and blue jig. That just is my bread and butter here. Black and blue jig with swim bait trailer here is money. Table Rock, no money. Tucker Hollow, I heard, has a new marina, or revamped a marina with gas. Is that correct? Yeah. So okay, so my plan was to get the tournament handled, done, and out of the way, and then start focusing on Bull Shoals South and Taneycomo. So I've only fished for trout for the most part in Taneycomo, and I hear the bass fishing is astonishing. My neighbor told me tonight at Drake's baseball game that his buddy caught a 9.75 largemouth out of Taneycomo yesterday. That is, what? That's 3 pounds off of the state record. So, you know, I need to go check that out, which is very close. That's a 20-minute drive to the boat ramp for Taneycomo. But like I said, if I want to fish in this U.S. Open Bass Tracker thing, if I can get in, the last chance qualifier is going to be in October. I need to learn that end of the lake. This end of the lake I got figured out. But if you guys fish reservoirs, the fishing and the bite changes daily sometimes, depending on what they allow or they suck out of the lake or add to the lake. But I'm pretty confident that I can catch a limit regardless of that from here to Arkansas. But from Arkansas south, all bets are off. I don't know what I could catch down there. I might go down there and get skunked. I've been skunked. I've been, like I said, I've been to Table Rock a handful of times. I've been skunked twice. I caught a limit of 4 fish at our tournament, and I felt absolutely lucky because I didn't catch them, but I caught those fish between 12 and 2 o'clock. I didn't have anything in the live well until noon. So, you know, you take a. I basically at Table Rock went to what worked for me here, fishing ledges with drop offs, and the fish were holding on them, and I just got lucky where I went. And it wasn't that I caught giant. I did lose a giant, and I hope that is on film that you can kind of see that, because that was a big one. But, you know, I caught average fish, but I caught 4 of them. And, you know, I think it was 8.9 ounces. It's right here. Yeah, for 4 fish. So I averaged just 2.5 pounds of fish, basically. That's normal fish here. That's not exciting. That's not shitty. It's like right in the middle. Jonathan, have a great night, brother. Thank you for being here. What's up, Mark? Right on, dude. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Black and blue wacky worked for me at your place. Is that what you guys caught that crappie on? Steve Miller, by the way, caught a 1.9 ounce crappie right out here yesterday. I don't know where he caught it actually. I didn't see him, but he gave me a picture of it. I have not caught a crappie. And if I were to catch a crappie, honestly, now that I have a crappie rod, I'm going to try. But it would have been by accident. And I've lived here since Labor Day and have not caught a crappie. Right on, Barry. Where'd you buy it from? Chatterbait got the crappie. Where were you, Steve? Just out of curiosity, because I don't even know where to look for crappie here. I don't look for them, but where were you? Bass Pro Shops in Minnesota. Right on. Cabela's, same. Johnny Morris owns it all now. He's the Walmart of the fishing industry. I wish that Johnny Morris would recognize my Peon channel and be like, hey, Mark, thanks. That's not going to happen. So are you talking about just the other point across the same side of the lake, but the other point? Copy. Yeah, I mean, so between those points that we were fishing on, there are brush piles that I don't know why nobody was out there yesterday. It was about the best day of the week to be on the lake. But usually there are 2 or 3 boats sitting between those points just parked trying to fish for crappie. And I don't see a whole lot of action. That's why I don't really pay attention. Steve, when you type in capitals, it feels like you're mad and you're yelling at me. Did you guys find any catfish, Steve? Griffey. I don't think Steve caught any catfish by his delayed response. Yeah, I like. I think I mentioned. I have not. I saw shad balls big as shit at Table Rock back in the coves, like big ones. Like I have not seen that at Table Rock. I mean, you'll see the occasional, but you don't see the balls like we were seeing at Table Rock. Mom, good night. I love you. We'll talk mañana. All right. Yeah, I do. When my back gets tired, I'll put on some like crankbaits that I think that walleye will bite, and I'll troll when my back gets tired. Absolutely. For walleye, I'm not. I I have trolled for bass. I'm not gonna lie, just not. But it's I just trying to like hone in on the craft of bass fishing and doing it right, like tournament style. I've moved away from doing all of that. So if I'm trolling, I'm trying to catch a walleye. So I got stuff on for walleye. Yeah, I mean, it just like so for me, like when I used to troll around for bass, okay, if I was in 10 feet of water, I had a 12-foot diving crankbait on. And 99% of the time, it's this guy. This color works anywhere. This is the Strike King HC 535 Chartreuse in black. It is by far my favorite crankbait on the planet. Before I moved here anyway, I probably caught a handful of fish on that since I moved here. I've really learned how to slow down and finesse fish moving here. You have to. I wasn't a big jig guy, but in the last 6 months, I would say now, I feel pretty confident in my jig fishing that I could catch fish anywhere that jig fishing is important. Drop shotting is I'm still working on it. I catch fish on it, but as far as that goes, it's more of a fish finder game, finding the fish and sitting over them. Which is I've always been a moving bait guy, like cast and retrieve, cast and retrieve. So like drop shotting, Ned rigging, these are things I'm working on to get better at. I catch fish at it, but I think I could do better at it and catch more quality fish the more I work on it. But in the past, like throwing a spinner bait, you don't even want to screw around with me here with that in the right conditions because I just know from here to Arkansas, I know exactly where I can catch fish on that. And I mean, it's proofs in the pudding. Like it's not magic that I'm catching these fish. I showed Jeff McCain was here today. There's a video that I haven't edited. It's just sitting there. But I go back into this waterfall that's gone now. It's gone. It's 10 feet underwater now. I go back into this area that's about the size of my garage. And I catch 5 fish in 5 minutes. 4 were keepers in a tournament. One was, he was hungry. But it's a lot of fishing, and for what I've learned anyway, is throw the right color for the right condition. And this is all stuff, dude. I used to throw the same shit. I'd go beat to death a lake with the same lure and get skunked. And it wasn't until I really started paying attention to watercolor changes and stuff like that, and colors, and even the colors of the blades matter. So you could throw a chartreuse with silver blades on it and get skunked. If you throw a gold willow leaf blade on it in the same conditions, you can nail them. I don't know why. I don't know why the bass like gold over silver. It's all shiny, but it happens. All right, you guys, we're 160 minutes into this. It's almost midnight. I do have to get up at 6 and go fishing with Frank. Like I said at the very beginning of all of this, thank you for everybody that contributed to the tournament. Thank you for everybody that showed up. This tonight was kind of a real good brainstorming session for the future of this. We have a good team in place to make this work. We really do. So this all hinges on the support of people around the country if they want to be involved and grow this. But there'll be more information in the future, and we will announce that. I think I'm not kidding. The people that are, myself included, Misty Miller, I know Jeff McCain's interested. The people that are local here that we're going to formulate this with, and the idea of having a board and having a group of people, at a level of responsibility for the group, are really interested in this. So let's, anybody that has any comments or questions or ideas for moving forward with this tournament series, comment on it. We will answer it, and we'll do the best we can to put something together that's feasible and that benefits the group. So, wow, what a weekend. That's all I can say. It was, I'm at a loss for words at how great the weekend was and how much fun that was had. But we can make this happen a lot as a group. So I look forward to talking to you guys. I'll be back in touch with you. We're going to do a giveaway. I'm sorry I didn't do one this month. Giveaway 17 will be soon, I promise. But let's stay in touch. Any ideas, leave them in the comments. We'll look at them, and we'll make a decision as a group. I appreciate every one of you, and I'm glad everybody made it home safe. I'll talk to you guys in the future. Take it easy.